proven way to reach at-risk youth and keep them on a positive path. They have the ability to reach youth in meaningful ways that take their backgrounds and culture into account. So children get into trouble in many ways, and those after-school programs tend to steer them in the right direction. A lot of them who are already at risk, meaning that they're already dangerous paths of dance, maybe dropping out of school and so on. Those programs can steer them back, of course. And we speak of Quality After School Program, it's an open place where youth can feel safe. They feel safe, they express themselves well, and they learn from bonds and with both their teachers and their peers. So here they bond with teachers and they bond with peers. The quality after school has the potential to keep youth or to help you develop life skills and turn young people into problem solvers. Rather than creating problems, they get to solve problems. They become creative thinkers, they become community participants, and lifelong learners and productive, successful adults. So it's a great way to initiate the children into the world, whether it be world of work, world of community participation, of health, good citizens, etc. So there are actually several evaluations of those after-school programs. This one again done by After School Alliance. It's evaluations background, a summary of formal evaluations of after-school programs, impact on academics, behavior, safety, and family life. It was released in May 2014. They summarized the findings of about 75 schools, 75 studies that were carried out from 2000 to 2013. And they categorize the summary in academic outcomes and behavioral outcomes. So we take a look at them. So academic outcomes, there's an improved school attendance and engagement in learning. They attend better and they're more eager to learn. Improve test scores and grades. So if we have programs here, the children will attend after school programs, they do better at minimum standard. And they will do better at common entrance, right? Students at greatest risk show greatest gains. You know? The ones at greatest risk show greatest gains. So the persons who are in greater trouble, they show greater improvement. Frequency and duration of after-school participation increases benefits. So the more they into it, some do recommend at least 3 times a week. If it's more often, there's greater benefit. Behavioral outcomes. Of course, it keeps children safe. It keeps them safe. Positive impact on children's self-concept and decision-making. So, children need to be taught from very early to think for themselves, to be thinkers. So at every stage of development, you become independent. So my 1-year-old son wants to hold a spoon. So at his stage, holding his own spoon is what he can do. And he will have to learn how not to make a mess, So he's becoming independent. So at every stage, children need to be equipped with the independence that they can handle. And after school, it helps that. It helps working families and encourage parental participation. So working families actually do better because parents can spend more time at work, and a lot of the studies are showing that parents report that if there's no after-school program, and in some places, there's also after-school care, which is not synonymous with after-school program, but they may overlap. Parents are able to work, they're less tired. So oftentimes parents, they have to miss work because they have to attend to something about the children, the safety, feeding them, their illness, and so on. So that if there is this after-school program, parents can be more productive, and actually you might think it takes them away, it takes some time away from bonding, but it actually shows that those families do better overall. It helps keeping kids healthy. How does it do that? When your child goes home, what does he do? What does she do? Turns on the TV and goes to Discovery Kids PBS Kids or one of those, and he begins to watch TV. So there's a lot of screen time. It's called screen time, or he puts a tablet or computer and he uses the mouse very well. There's a lot of screen time. So in those after-school programs, the screen time is lessened and children are more active. They're more active. So you check problems like obesity and the related consequences of that. Also, the diet is monitored in other programs. So we can keep them more healthy. We can reduce truancy and improving behavior in school. So children are more, they want to go to school, they want to attend school, they have them, they're more motivated. So children don't skip classes anymore. After-school programs can serve as a valuable resource for recruitment and retention of public school teachers. What do you think? Do you think it can be a gateway for teachers into the system? What is thought is that in the after-school setting, you may bring in new teachers who might work alongside the classroom teacher. It depends on what you're doing. And you may actually, you might recruit older children or older teenagers, young adults from secondary school or from A-level, some other sector, and working with younger children, they gain skills in teaching. They might rub shoulders with some other more mature teacher and so on. So it actually helps to recruit new teachers. Alright. Yeah. So it is the bridge that connects school and community. After school, you bring in together organizations, volunteers, teachers, mentors, and the resource persons into the after-school classroom. So you bring in a melange of resources, not just the teacher. The teacher might take a break, but you could bring in whether it be police officers, you could bring in nurses, doctors, and they're very busy, but you might pull it. But you bring in a community. There are so many resource persons around who may just be willing to volunteer and give some time. We must just find a way to get them on board. So after-school programs bring the community together. It supports family and involvement in schools. After-school programs can always facilitate interaction with parents. How does it bring them with the parents? In a more relaxed setting. More relaxed setting, you have this, they feel more comfortable. So you might get that kind of interaction. So whereas in school, as I said earlier, schools might be a little tense, you have this rigid curriculum to go through, and any distraction is not welcome.
At all.
But in the after-school setting, it's more relaxed. So the parents feel more comfortable, whether they can sit and watch the children do some ballet, or they can watch them do some drama, or read their poetry, or sing a song, or they can watch them play the guitar or something, But it's more interactive. It's a time for teachers to interact with students. It's also a place, as we suggested earlier, where older youth can mentor younger ones. So you have older youth can be mentored, and they themselves can serve. I think there are some clubs that are like that, where as you enter, and as you get older, you become a teacher in the club or an instructor. Right? I think one that's like the cadet corps.
Yes.
Corps like
and
that.
groups like that.
So you enter, and as you enter, you become a mentor at higher levels. After-school program. So those children, of course, if you think of a kind of core, you think of a lot of discipline and skills that are learned in there. So studies show that regular participation in high-quality after-school programs is linked to significant gains in standardized test scores, as well as improved work habits, social skills, and overall behavior. So we said if we were here, we could, we can do a study, right? Before and after, the effects of being standard or common entrance. But the studies are proving that. After school is an opportune time to expose students to careers and to teach them skills that can unlock doors to future career prospects. So this might be more applicable to older students, secondary school age, but even from here, at the time it was stage 3, but I I liked science in stage 3. That's what grade 2. That's why I liked science. I was impressed, I like science, and from there, the path, I took the path. So for it can work here for them. So you could have internship, summer jobs. I guess not really right for primary school students. Work study programs, job shadowing, mentoring, on-the-job training, and any other educational approach that might include some real-world experience. So using the after-school hours constructively and productively can ensure the success of students by keeping them engaged and preventing them from dropping out. I think that's the point we're making. It's reiteration. You keep them engaged, you keep them occupied. They feel useful, they feel productive, and it will safeguard them from dropping out. Give them purpose. Some children have self-esteem issues. Self-worth issues, self-concept issues, and whereas in the classroom they may be marginalized, not deliberately, not by the teacher or by anybody, but just because of how they feel about themselves, they take to the corner. But you put them to the playing field and they feel good about holding the cricket bat, and kicking the football, or playing board game. Chess, something. So children and youth of all ages who participate in after-school programs maintain better grades. We keep saying that they have lower rates of truancy and are more engaged in school and attain higher levels of achievement in college. So not just now, but for later on. They become. I think one of the things is discipline. So they might seem to have less time, but it's actually more time. So they learn time management. And the discipline follows them through even to later life. They also express greater hopes for the future and are more interested in school. They show greater interest in school, they learn new skills and exhibit improved behavior. So skills are learned, interest in not just now but the future. After school programs keep kids safe, healthy, and on track for success. So research has shown that children who attend after-school programs are less likely to be victims or perpetrators. So they're less likely to be victims and they're less likely to be perpetrators of violent crimes. As we said, improve attendance, better grades, there's reduction in aggressive behavior. Anger management takes place, automatically. Less aggressive behavior and bullying. We see bullying in school there? A lot. I'm learning that bullying is a very bad thing. It's worse than we think it is. So reduce use of drugs and alcohol and reduction in initiation of drug use. So those who are already initiated, you will have reduced use, and of course you have reduced initiation among those who are still virgin. So reduction in the prevalence of obesity, we explained that, and they are less likely to engage in sexual activity. So after school programs helps working families. Parents are able to work more hours. It saves the parents time and they worry less about the children's safety. Right? And they are less tired at evening. So parents.
We are always tired in the evening.
So the children are in the program, you want peace, you have more time to take care of the things that you have to, and you're more relaxed generally, less time. What parents say? Parents have set an after-school program in which the child participated in help them balance work and family life. So the fact that the child is in an after-school program, you've been able to balance work and family life. The programs are convenient. That's the view of the program the children attend. They miss less work. They miss less work. So if a teacher here has difficult family situation, they might be absent here and there. But if there's some factor that comes in and stabilizes the whole situation, their attendance will be better, right? It supports them in keeping their job and it allows them to work more hours. Right. So, as you saw, the U.S. government is pumping loads of money into that, and you have a lot of organizations that are pumping loads of money into after-school programs. It is one of the challenges, and so money is a big thing. So that's why here and there you see somebody might be running a sports club.
They never have ones.
Somebody might be running a sports club and they always want some sponsorship, and they're passing a sheet here because they want to do this, want to do that. They want to take the children on a trip. They have to travel. They have to get uniforms. They have to get instruments. They have to get this and that. So money is one factor, and commitment is another. Committed people who have the time. So when those two are scarce, it makes running an after-school program very, very difficult. Ideas for after-school programs, and that's just the brainstorm list here. That list, more than giving a special activity, it helps guide what you want to do for the children, right? What you want to do for them. To allow frequent individual interaction with others. They will play games with simple rules. They will have quiet areas and noisy areas. They will have outside and outdoor experiences, imaginative play opportunities, and you can do that with drama, I guess. Some clear responsibility like community cleanups, responsibility. Projects I might apply to school day lessons. I might apply school day lessons to family and community. Opportunities to read aloud silently and to talk about books and ideas. So you can have a book club, a reading club, something like that. Matching, ordering, and sorting activities. Opportunities to apply arithmetic problems to real world ways. I'll give you an example. In school, secondary school, we learned trigonometry. And I found a practical application of trigonometry when I was doing my roof. You have to see it, yeah. I was just doing my roof. So you have to calculate. It's a lot of triangles to get the roof and the surface area of the roof, a lot of triangles. So trigonometry.
You can still say that.
Right, but the point here is that those programs can make the link. It can make the link, and I think if that link was made for me, then I might have liked it a little more. You might like it a little more. Pi r squared and 2 pi r.
Oh, sir. No way, sir. No way yet.
Then you should maybe have to mark the playing field. And you could, then you calculate how much oil you need to mark the field and how much chocolate. But the point is that you can link the classroom, which is very theoretical, to the real world. Small experiments with everyday products, nature walks and talks, children like that. Opportunities to work with a variety of materials, for projects, physical activities as well emphasize competition. So you have just play, jump rope, skipping, marbles, jacks, flying kites. Music, dance, drama. Opportunities to try experiences from diverse cultures, so you can let them learn about cultures.
The Indian culture.
The Indian culture, yeah, you want to go back. Indian culture, African cultures, and European cultures, whatever. But they can learn, and in that way they can enrich their culture, not just their own heritage, but their view of the world. After all, the world is becoming a smaller place, right? in large and small groups as well as individual recognition. Experiences that explore ethics and values with respected others, opportunities to serve, physical activity, decision making and leadership. You can apply school day lessons to performances and projects. You can get practical applications. Expressing, emphasizing reasoning and problem solving in art, science, in mathematics. Maybe we should do that. Maths is still a problem in school, right?
Yes.
We should find some creative way to engage the mathematical minds. Quiet times for homework with others, and of course help when needed. Games that can help stimulate the mind. Basic skills like chess, checkers, puzzles, word games, Scrabble, dominoes. Wide range of reading activities, discussion of the ideas from the book, so you could have, again, as we said, book clubs, reading reporting, discussions. And we won't read all of it, but there are some more suggestions here for older children as well. Starting a program. We won't go through everything about the program. Already you know that you need commitment and money. But some things, if you, in a practical sense, not everything needs an exorbitant budget. So if you go, if you want to start small. So there's no need to reinvent the wheel. There's a lot of resources out there. You just have to go to Google. Or what's the other one? Or Bing. And so many search engines now, right? But you don't have to reinvent the wheel, it's already all written. But there are some basics that you must know. There are different modes of operation, and programs can operate as for profit. That's what I do. I have my little place, bring the children in, they learn computers, and then I make some money. That's actually my living. But it can also be non-profit organizations. It's just to help. So I'm going to run a sports club. I'm just going to help those children. They obviously become great athletes, Imperial. Just do it for free. It can be school-based, and some can also be government-based. So it's what base are you going to set? Do you want to do it for your own? You want to see as an avenue of making someone and helping the children at the same time, or let's do it from the school as a non-profit, or can we tap into some government resource and run it from there? And there are a lot of youth organizations, regional, international, that are willing to fund programs locally. So you just have to find out about it and start to roll. Choose a location. Of course, your location will determine who you're trying to reach. So it needs to be accessible to parents, teachers, and students. It needs to be convenient. Okay. So the next most important step while knowing what mode you're going to do, your location, is to do some basic research, and the most important is a needs assessment. So sometimes I like photography. I'll teach photography to the students. But then is it practical to teach photography? Maybe today it's more practical than 5 years ago because everybody has a smartphone and they take great pictures too. So you can learn some basic photography with a smartphone or a tablet and so on. But if you're going to do real photography, you might have to go beyond that, right?
The black and white cameras, these are long.
Right. So, but is it feasible? So you have to do what's called a needs assessment. Do a needs assessment, and the needs assessment, in the simplest form, it determines to what extent there's a need for the service. What resources exist to meet those needs? Do I have any resources I can use? What is the gap between what's needed and what's currently provided? Do we stay together? Yeah. So what's needed? Do I have resources to conduct it? And is something already existing? Can I improve it? Did somebody try it before? Did it fail? What's my likelihood for success? What are my challenges, etc. So you carry on needs assessment. It's like, presenting this topic today, I submitted to a needs assessment, right? So hopefully it's a needful topic. Maybe hopefully I wasn't off, right, with my findings. So what can you do to market after school and promote your program? So you've done a needs assessment and you think maybe I should have a computer class. Or maybe I should offer help with homework for grade 6. So, how do you market your program, or an athletics club, or quadrille group, something like that? You should know your allies. Know your allies. Who can help you? Who can push you? Are there other after-school providers? Is somebody else in a swimming club down in Viewfort? And you can tag with them, and you can get the same students, those in the program, you can get them, and so on. You should know people in government. Know people in government. Know people who have important jobs. CEOs, police chiefs, district attorneys. Know everybody. Know parents. Know the youth voices, state and people in the leaders in the area. Know people who can help. Because you want to bring them along. If you have those people who have an important voice, they can speak for your program, they can market you. You surely sell better, right? Use events to boost and build relationships. So media coverage where you can, media until it's easy, Facebook and Twitter and all the blogs there and there, you can get on there. Make after school an election year issue. Elections coming up sometime, so you can find some way to tie it in with the election. You're not making it political. What you're doing, you're making the candidates aware. And if they realize that a large number of parents or citizens are following after school and they need funding, that's what you want, right? You can get them on board. So try to tag it in some way. Not that you'll be saying after school labor, or after school flambeau. That's what you're doing.
So that's my touch.
You don't become political, but you get them involved. You make them get into the debate, get into the platform, make it an issue in the platform. When I get elected, I will give after school programs. I will facilitate. Let them say. That's what you want to do. Let them say. Let them commit themselves. Let them see the importance. Right? Right. So again, involve influential community members. Align your program with existing programs and organizations. So if there is anything else that works in the community, align yourself with it. It might help. So barriers to after school programs. So I stopped here in how to start. As I said, you can get more resources online and elsewhere, but that's just the basics. If you understand the program. Barriers to after school programs. There could be an unwelcoming atmosphere. You could get challenges right among the people who you want to serve. They don't get the point. They think you just want some money for yourself. You just think you want to get popular. You want to get children's attention. So they don't really like that. Right. So sometimes it's far. The location is far. They have to travel. So some might live way down in Mankind but Peru is small. They grow far in Peru. But still, they might have trouble walking from Okikon up here. Transport, transportation is an issue. Affordability and parental literacy. I think generally, the more literate parents might want to support more. But who benefits most? The illiterate ones, you know. The children who are more at risk are the ones who benefit most. So we have to structure our propaganda in such a way that you target those who need it most, and who might reap the most benefit, not who will bring the most money to your pocket, right? But who will benefit the most. Right. So we're nearing the end. Parents' definition for quality after-school program. They want well-trained and caring staff who have high expectations and who want to serve as counselors to their children. So parents want serious people to interact with their children. They like a welcoming atmosphere that encourage parent participation. A defined schedule, there's structure, there's discipline. There's time for the child to complete homework and assignments under the guidance of a knowledgeable staff. So again, structure, the child gets help. They want help for the homework, right? Parents like that. They want the children to pass common entrance with the highest marks because they want to go to convent. They're trying to go to convent. College. They want to know that children are having fun and they are working on projects and there's a presence of happy and engaged children. So parents also want a program that are committed to learning, whether it be reading, whether it be maths, social studies, homework, etc. Use of time, constructive use of time, which includes participation in creative and fun activities. Support, so you have somebody who the child can depend on. You have positive family communication and a care environment. Social competence. It includes interpersonal competence, cultural competence, decision making, and conflict resolution. So you want to equip the parents love to know that children are becoming more powerful individuals when it comes to decision making, independence. You know, they can think for themselves. There are boundaries and their expectations. Parents like to know that, and you can build a positive identity. We spoke of self-concept earlier in the children's, whereas in the classroom they feel they like the edge, but maybe somewhere else they can take the center stage, and it can really help to boost their self-esteem and self-concept, etc. So parents like those things. Okay, how do we get back to it? Okay, so I didn't realize I was at the end. Pardon me? So hopefully the aim of this was to help, I guess, and sometimes you preach into the choir. Ideally we should have had some parents here to listen to this, but at least hopefully as frontline people, we have maybe understood, at least myself in a new way, the importance of after-school programs, the benefits, in keeping the children out of trouble, that's the safety aspect, and in building them up, preparing them better for tomorrow, they can perform better in school, etc. I'm not a professional in this topic, I'm an expert, but if you'd like to generate a small amount of discussion, we can have that. A question, a comment?
So where else happening in this presentation?
Where else? This is the first place.
Let's see what's happening now. With all what I mentioned, which was actually the school also, I can see you making this presentation. I understood there was a meeting, but too long with the police commission and they're trying to, and maybe you need to make that presentation. Maybe to these people.
On the levels?
Because I can recall one of the persons was saying it's not a problem with the students, but it is what we have to offer. Another person was saying maybe we should start school, we're starting school too early. Maybe school should begin at 9 o'clock for them and they go to 4. because the problem is there. And it is very, very true that we really need those after school programs. And I can see the merit between, although I can see there need to be a correlation between what happens in school, before school, and after school. So if you are telling me, yes, this program is supposed to do this for the children, but I'm trying to put things in perspective, and I'm saying, if they don't have what they need in school, yes, you're talking about school as a more formal setting, but there are so many disadvantages that we are faced with our present system, and it may even be very difficult to get the quality after school programs that we want. So I think there need to be that kind of correlation between before school or during school and after school, so that you can really get the real benefits that we want to know. But I really see the need for after school children.
Yeah, you're right. I guess there's all that you mentioned loitering, it's just of castrating is a big problem, right?
And it is going to fest very soon. It's going to get out before it's the time. It has started already. A lot of the shops will have their big signs if you're in school in Bondo and I feel that's dry. Yeah, I mean, there's students, they need to get their and then to me that is not the way forward. It is really getting the children doing what we're supposed to do for them, to get them what they want.
Let's engage them.
We must engage the students.
Yes.
I don't know if I missed out when you, yeah, I don't know if you mentioned, but how long, what are the hours for after school program?
There's no limit, so generally from 3 to 6 maybe, but there's no specified time. After school program, in the definition also refers to summertime, like anything that happens during the summer, Easter break, Christmas break. There's no limit. I know some parents really push their children, and they have so many. So you go to piano classes, or you do swimming first, then you do piano, and then you dance. And by the time you get home, it's just home and bed. So there's no time.
They schedule them right up to bed.
Sometimes you really push the children. I think it's too much. But there's no. Yes, miss.
Yeah,
Your name, please, though.
I was just about to make a similar point with similar point with Miss Prophet, and especially they were meeting with different stakeholders and trying to get to what to make a decision on the loitering. And since you have done a bit of research on it already, it would be, very interesting to get in touch with. There's a specific corporal, I think, who is in charge and trying to get some things together in preparation for that. I think it would be a good idea to get in touch with him, because you have a lot of the research done already. It's just elaborate, build on it. It's all of us who will be affected eventually, the whole island, So.
Alright, maybe we can pilot something in Piro.
Yeah.
You can call it after school for the rural areas, rural community. Yeah, that's where it's lacking. I think in the towns you can in Viewfort you have some classes here and there, but in the countryside.
The loitering is really happening up north.
There's not much. So maybe we can think of something.
It's not as bad as in the south.
Anybody else?
Maybe because we have to get to the bush, like Ms. Bissett said, and go and dig and carry and plant and do so many other things.
Maybe we could structure our after school program along that line, right?
My reaction to the problem of loitering, I don't know if it's selfish, I said, but I don't see the problem. The parents are to be held responsible, but between the hours of 3 and 5 p.m., that's when we have the biggest problem. And the parents are at work at that time saying that, wait, if parents educate their children as to where to be and what to do, but then it still shows a lack of, when the children go for for help if the home has no electricity, no computers, no books. There are students like this in our schools presently with none of these resources at once. And if they go to the home, there's still no help. So there goes, I had to rethink and say,
So somebody responded in the news, somebody said that some of the students stay on the streets because they want to avoid trouble at home. I don't know if you heard it. She said that
No, I
some,
didn't.
if they go home, they have to have sex. They have to have sex with the mother's boyfriend.
So there you go, about the sexual
So they prefer on the street is safer.
Yes.
But if you have somewhere else for them to go home,
Yes, especially with the teen girls. That's a real threat, a real problem for children. Wow. So I have to rethink my position and say,
But the case is the parents are the children and the children are the parents. They're the ones in charge.
especially rural areas, as you said, I have not known of any existing program that is really.
maybe we can start thinking.
Yeah, I think with you doctor coming from this area, I should think we should really start thinking of, together with us, what, at least one, if we can get two, at least one program that we can start at you. I don't think I want to see us leaving the school and go to get a program start. I want one to see, whatever, let's get something, I mean, since you're doing it, you may have, more ideas as to where we can live, but we can start. I think we can have an after-school program at our school.
So I've thought about it. Doing this, I've thought about it, and it's needful. But let's see. Yeah. Commitment, time.
I don't think you're gonna have any messages.
Okay, well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
We're not going to have regular teachers.
I will charge.
You're going to have a lot of school teachers.
Again, remember, if you, I'm both thinking, we think of resources. It doesn't have to be you. It doesn't have to be you. It's, you organize it, but it doesn't have to be you. We didn't go into all the details, but you need staff. You need help. Just like you're in the school, you need staff. So you're the CEO, you're the manager, but you have a line of support staff so to go back to run the program. So it's not a one-man show. It's a program.
You do computer. Yes, exactly the way computer.
I think the after-school program is going to be a helpful thing, not just to the students and parents, but even to our school. If the research is showing us improvement in grades, this is what we want. We want our children to improve in all areas in which we take them, whether it is dance or cultural activities, whatever. We want them to improve. But it is also true that money makes the may fly. You need the money, and you also need commitment. You don't want people to be there today and gone tomorrow. What's the sense? If you start it now, today, and it fails tomorrow, it's going to take you 3 times more effort and energy to put it back together again. So if we are going to do that, we need to have the commitment from people. We also need to ensure that our parents are on board, because they will be the ones to say, yes, my child will attend, no, my child will not attend. And they will also be the ones to help with providing the human resource. A number of our parents have the skills, but are they available? No, some of them are at work. I did mention the after-school program at parent-teachers meeting, not in depth, just by the wayside, that we would need to have some programs for our children. And one parent has already volunteered. Miss, when you are starting, I would like to do whatever she mentioned. So if we are, persistent and consistent, and we have that kind of information, I think that kind of information would propel parents to wanting after-school program. Because the same way we want our school to improve, they also want the children to do well. So maybe you will have to make another trip to Piero Combined School, not to the teachers, but to the parents, because they need that kind of information. a number of parents would be happy for the after-school program. They would be very happy for that.
That's the point. If we have something in mind or in place already, then with his what he's going to talk to the parents about, then we can say, look, we have at least a few ideas.
I guess you're saying, you know, you come after this period, we have a proposal. We come up with a
Yeah, we
proposal
have something
already.
in place.
We can start by looking at needs assessment and let's try and see, do a current assessment.
So you
needs
get
assessment.
overwhelmed.
It would also be good to brainstorm with them. What programs would you like for your children? What would you like to see them do after school?
But
And,
today the
you know,
conference, they hinted on some of them. What
So
activities?
I do believe that the after-school program can be a helpful thing, not just to us, but to the children as well.
Different activities.
And the parents. And the general community.
So you get overwhelming support, you want something for the children.
Yes.
We have done mine.
We all want it. How many of us want after-school program? I know that I want it. I may not want to be the teacher and whatever, but I want it. You may not want to be the facilitator, but you would want it. You understand what I mean?
Just thinking,